Good evening. Today is March 2nd, 2022. Anchorage Platting Board is now in session. May I have roll call?
Don Porter.
Present.
Kevin Cross.
Present.
Valerie Ritz.
Present.
Jenna Welting. Present. Ryan Morman.
Present.
Zach Young.
Present.
Karen McGillivray is excused. You have a quorum. Thank you.
Mrs. Ritz, would you be so kind as to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Excellent. We will now move to approvals. I'm looking for an approval of the action summary dated February 2nd, 2022. We have a motion to move approved by Valerie Ritz and seconded by Jenna Weltson. Have a vote. Do we have any nays? Hearing no nays, action summaries pass. We are now looking for a motion to approve the minutes dated Wednesday, February 2nd, 2022. Moved by Ryan Morman, second by Valerie Ritz. Do I have any nays? Seeing none, passes by unanimous consent. It's closing of approvals. We shall now move on to special orders of business. Do we have any disclosures for this evening's cases? Seeing none, pay attention to your informational items, abbreviated Platts action summaries dated 1/31/22 and February 14th, 2022. We have special order of business number 3.
I would like to make a motion to reorder the agenda to move election officers to the end of the agenda.
Don Porter has moved to move the election of the officers till after the public testimony and after agenda items towards the end of the day. Do we have a second? Jenna Weltson seconds. Do we have any opposed? Seeing none, annual elections officers shall be moved after case hearings. We're moving on to consent agenda. And there's nothing to approve there. So on our consent agenda for time extensions, findings of facts, commercial tracts, other, and resolutions for approval, doesn't require a vote, so we will proceed. And as well as old business, there's nothing to address as far as old business. Moving quite along expeditiously, we shall now go to new business. The Platting Board meets each month on the first and third Wednesday, except holidays, as regular meetings. If the Platting Board fails to complete its agenda for its regular meetings, the Board carries over the remainder of the agenda to the following meeting. The procedure by which the public may speak to the Platting Board at its meetings is, 1, after the staff presentation is complete on the public hearing items, the Chair will ask for public testimony on the issue. Persons who wish to testify will follow the time limits established in the Commission's Rules of Procedure. Petitioners, including his or her representatives, have 10 minutes. Now, part of this time may be reserved for rebuttal. Representatives of groups, such as community council, PTAs, etc., they will be given 5 minutes. Individuals are given 3 minutes. Now, when your testimony is complete, you may be asked questions by the board, and you may only testify once on any issue unless questioned by the board. Any individual may have an appeal right relating to an action of the Platting Board takes. Appeal of this decision or of any of the conditions is governed by AMC 2111-304. The decision of the board at the scheduled public hearing shall become final 7 calendar days after the date and the decision is made on the record, unless a written request is submitted to the Planning Division prior to the expiration of the 7th day to prepare a written decision based upon the record made at the hearing, and that the request is accompanied by a written notice of intent to appeal. Finally, adoption of all written decision by the Platting Board becomes final appealable decision. Within 20 days of the final application decision, an interested party may file with the municipal clerk either by a written motion alleging new evidence or a change in circumstance, or an appeal of the board's final appealable decision under AMC 2130. We shall now move to new business, public hearings. Now open case number S12657. Hoverston subdivisions, lots 1 and 2. May I hear staff's presentation, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this is a request to subdivide one lot into 2 lots. The petition is located west of Malcolm Drive and Sierra Mesa Circle in Peters Creek. The subdivision request is being made to prepare the property for construction of a single-family home and the remainder to remain in a family trust. The subdivision was not eligible for an abbreviated plat process as the proposed subdivision divides a tract of land that is 10 acres or more in the CER10 low-density residential alpine slope district. The subdivision does meet the minimum lot size and width requirements as well as the minimum lot size and site for R10 pertaining to steep slopes. There were no objections by the reviewing agencies to this plat in action. The surrounding property is developed with single-family residential homes or state park land. Roads and trail improvements, staff is requesting a condition to final plat approval. The petitioner dedicate a 60 by 85 foot right-of-way at the Sierra Mesa Circle and Malcolm Drive intersection as shown on the preliminary plat. In addition, the State Department of Natural Resources and Private Development concur with dedication of a 20-foot trail easement centered on the existing trail that runs west-east. No easement on the plat has been requested for the Bear Point Trail as DNR has future plans to for a new sustainably aligned trail that may not be in the existing alignment. The preliminary plat appears to conform with the petition site's classification as shown in the 2006 Chugach River Comp Plan for land use, housing, and residential development, Goal 1A and 2D. The subdivision is going to create residential single-family home in the Chugach area. The both local roads connect to the Old Glen Highway, classified as a collector, and the platting action complies with the recommendations of the Chugach River Comp Plan. The 2 lots in the subdivision will provide access via publicly dedicated right-of-way, and once again, no reviewing agencies had any objections to the proposed plat. With that being said, staff is recommending approval of the platting action found on A1 through 5 on page 6 and 7, actually 1 through 6, page 6, 7, and 8 of your staff packet. I can answer any questions that you may have as well.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for staff? Excellent. Hearing no questions for staff, we shall now move to hear the petitioner's testimony. Is the petitioner? Excellent. So please state your name.
I'm Claudia Hoverston, and I am the owner of the 40-acre tract. And the proposed subdivision that I'm just wanting to have 10 acres of the 40 for my daughter. And we agree with the staff report and are anxious to get this taken care of.
Excellent. You have 9 minutes and 36 seconds for rebuttal. Would you like to save that as your time?
Sure.
Excellent, thank you. Do we have any questions for the petitioner, Claudia Hoverston?
No?
Excellent, thank you, Claudia.
Okay.
I would now like to open up case S12657 for public testimony. Is there anybody from the public who would like to speak as to case S12657? Do we have anybody on the line or anybody wishing to call in?
No, Mr. Chair, we do not.
Thank you. So we have no public testimony. There's been very little comment on this. Does the petitioner wish to use any of the rebuttal time to make any closing remarks or statements? Fantastic. Then we will then close the public testimony, and the matter now rests with the board. And do I have a motion to approve the plat for 24 months, subject to conditions 1 through 6? Okay, we have moved by Jana Weltzen and second by Zach Young. Jana, would you care to speak to your motion?
Yes. I motion to approve the plat for 24 months, subject to conditions 1, 2A through F, 3, 4, 5A through C, and 6A through B, located on pages 6 through 8 of our staff report. This looks like, I'll be voting in favor for this. This looks like a pretty benign and reasonable request. It doesn't seem like any of the agencies had any comments that were of any concern. The public also have not negatively commented against this proposal. And yeah, I just wish we had a little easier process for you, but I'll be voting in favor for this.
Thank you, Ms. Weltzine. Appreciate you speaking to your motion. Is there anybody else that would care to speak to this motion? Hearing none, we shall vote. Passes by unanimous consent. Congratulations. Case 12657 is now closed. We shall move to case number S12663, Petitioner John Norris, Diamond ETA LLC. May we hear from staff, please?
Thank you. This is a request to subdivide 3 lots into 1 lot and 1 tract with a vacation of a 46-foot sanitary sewer, water, storm drain, and access easement. The proposed replat eliminates the need for easements as it will be 1 lot with access from Diamond Boulevard. This request is being made to consolidate the lots to utilize for future development, including the tract set aside for contaminated soil mitigation. This preliminary plat was previously approved on June 6, 2018, but was not recorded within the expiration date. There have been no changes between the original request and this request. Utility easements have been requested and department comments are detailed on page 2 through 4 of the staff report. The following criteria must be considered in any vacation of easements as follows. Criteria 1, the vacation of the 46-foot sanitary sewer, water, storm drain, and access easement are in excess of municipal need. The proposed subdivision from 3 lots into 1 lot and 1 tract eliminates the need for the existing easement. Criteria 2 through 4 do not apply to this request. Criteria 5 is met. The preliminary plat to subdivide 3 lots into 1 lot and 1 tract no longer requires the 46-foot easement. The site will retain access to Diamond Boulevard and traffic circulation will not be impacted by this vacation. Criteria 6, this vacation will not result in any realignment of right-of-way and does not impact existing circulation. Reviewing agencies either had no comment or no objection to the vacation request. The location of the on-property easements are not necessary with the platting action to combine the 3 lots into 1 lot and 1 tract. Therefore, staff believes that the easement is in excess of municipal need and recommends approval of this vacation and preliminary plat, subject to conditions listed on 5 and 6 of the staff report. I'm here if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for staff? Ms. Weltzen?
Thank you, through the chair. Just to clarify, so you said that this has been previously approved, but the plat expired, and that's why we're back?
Through the chair, that is correct. The original approval date was July 6, 2018, so that expired, or I'm sorry, June 6, 2018, so that expired in June 6 of 2020, and it was not recorded by that date.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure I heard that.
Excellent. Any other questions for staff at this time? Hearing none, I'd like to move to hearing from the petitioner. May we hear from the petitioner, please? Good evening. Would you please state your name?
Hi, my name is Laquita Chmielowski. I'm the Land Use Planning Manager at Dow, and I'm here tonight representing the petitioner.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So as was mentioned by staff and in your packet, the project's located just to the east of the intersection of Diamond Boulevard and Jewel Lake Road and consists of 3 properties. It's currently zoned B3 with special limitations and is approximately 4.6 acres. So the purpose of the plat, as staff mentioned, is to combine the properties into one lot and one tract. The tract is being created to take care of a remediation area, soil remediation area, and is covered in notes 9 and 11 on the preliminary plat, and also to vacate the sanitary sewer, water, storm drain, and access easement. So as staff mentioned, if you were here in 2018, this preliminary plat looks really familiar to you as it was approved at that time. And so we did miss the cutoff date to get the plat finalized and recorded. And so now we're back here starting this process over again to get the plat in place in preparation for future development. So on the right-hand side, or I guess it's your left-hand side of the screen, is what the properties look like today. So there's the 3 lots, that sanitary sewer access, storm drain, and water easement runs along the flag portion of the flag lot 1. And so with combining the properties, you no longer need that easement, and there aren't any utilities within that easement either. And then on the other side of the screen shows what we're proposing for the preliminary plat. And again, there isn't any changes from what was approved in 2018. And with that, I can answer any questions.
Can you?
Thank you. You have 8 minutes and 12 seconds to save for rebuttal. Would you like to reserve your time?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for the petitioner? Yes, Welton, through the chair.
Through the chair. Thank you. The drainage comment on page 2, what is that about? The grading wasn't finalized and then there was adverse draining impacts. Does that have to do with you guys, or is that something that you're trying to fix, or?
No, so there was there was a reclamation approval for the property to do some preliminary grading, and there was a ditch put in on the east side of the property. And we did actually meet there. My understanding is there was a homeowner that was concerned that drainage was coming onto their property after the construction of the ditch. And the petitioner has met with the homeowner and sorted out that that's not what was occurring.
Oh. Okay, so they're, I guess through the chair to staff, so would you agree with that assessment? I mean, I guess I'm reading here, it says which has resulted in adverse draining impacts to neighboring parcels, so is that what took place here, or?
Through the chair, I can't speak to the cause of the drainage issues, but there is a requested condition 3B, is that correct? B3, excuse me, to put a 20-foot drainage easement along that eastern property boundary to help assist in those drainage concerns.
And through the chair, as the petitioner, do you have any concerns about that condition?
No, not at all.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any further questions for the petitioner? Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll now open case number S12663 to the public. Is there anybody from the public who would wish to testify? Seeing none. Well, before I close the public testimony, do we have anybody online or anybody who has called in?
No, Mr. Chair, you do not.
Excellent. You have 8 minutes and 12 seconds for rebuttal or additional comments. Would you like to use any of it? No, thank you. We will close public testimony and we shall move. Do I have a motion let's see what we've got here. Let's move to page number 5. Do we have a motion to approve the request for a variation of a 46-foot wide sanitary sewer? Motion A. We have a motion by Don Porter, second by Zach Young. Mr. Porter, would you care to speak to your motion, please?
Yes, I will be supporting this motion. The request for vacation is consistent with the consolidation of the lots and the intended use, and also that is no longer of any use to the municipality. That has been shown by the staff analysis.
Thank you. Mr. Porter, real quick, would you state your motion? I appreciate you speaking to it, if you would mind stating your motion.
Got a little ahead. I move for approval of the request for vacation of the 46-wide sanitary sewer, water, and storm drain and access easement dedicated by Plat 2007 with note number 1.
I appreciate that, and you've already spoken to your motion, so at this point I will move to anybody else that would like to speak to the motion made by Mr. Porter. Hearing none, we shall move to a vote. And the motion passes unanimously. Next, I'm looking for approval of the plat for 24 months, subject to the conditions on pages 5 and 6, conditions 1 through 4. Do I have a motion? We have a motion by Don Porter, second by Zach Young. Mr. Porter, would you please state your motion?
Yes, I move for approval of the plat for 24 months, subject to notes 1A, B, and C, 2, 3, 4A on page 5 and 6 of our staff packet.
Excellent. Would you like to speak to your motion?
Yes, I believe that the applicant has met the requirements following the MOA Title 21 process through the staff analysis.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. Is there anybody else that would care to speak to the motion before us? Mrs. Wilson.
Thank you, through the chair. I'll be voting in favor for this motion. It looks like they've done their community engagement not once but twice, and really thought through all the details here, and I'm happy to hear that they've resolved any draining issues and they don't have any concerns with the additional drainage requirements, so I'll be voting in favor of this.
Thank you. Any other further comments? Hearing none, we shall move to vote. Excellent, and the motion is passed. We now close case S12663, U-Haul Diamond Subdivision. Thank you very much. We shall now move to case number 2022-0016, Petitioner Municipality of Anchorage Planning Department. May we hear from the petitioner, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This case is an ordinance to clean up the Anchorage Municipal Code of Regulations, tables 2120-002, 21.20.003, and 21.20.007. This amendment intends to update the fee schedule with the entitlements currently identified in Title 21. In 2019, the fee schedule was adopted that is currently in AMCR, and there were certain items that were carried forward. To begin with, mainly there are some titles and descriptions that are being updated to reflect current Title 21, as shown in staff packet on page 1. Also, there are changes in cost reflecting the actual time, research, coordination, and follow-up required by staff. Some of those are increases, some are eliminations of fees, some are additions, and the biggest one is a change in, which is on page 2, the very top of your page, staff packet. Vacation without a preliminary plat, administrative review. This is currently a $4,000 fee. If you do it with a platting action, it's a $950 fee, and we're recommending a $1,400 fee to decrease this fee by $2,700. We see probably 3 to 5 of these in a year, so this will help individuals and property owners be able to do this in a more efficient and effective way. There are also on this page a few other additions that are new due to COVID. Recording of document fees is new. We are able to do that internally as staff now, and eliminating petitioners from having to go down to the recorder's office if they do not wish to. I have questions, I can answer them.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for staff? I'm going to hand my gavel to Don, since I just have a question. So you're just looking for our approval or our support? What is the motion that we're looking to?
Through the chair, that's correct, an approval. So all boards and commissions that the current planning meets with this is to be brought before them for approval before going through to the Anchorage Assembly for approval, to be then adopted and added to the current AMCR.
So just so I'm clear on the motion that needs to be verbalized here, we're just looking to approve case S22, 2022-16 as an ordinance. I guess we're just looking to approve F1C. Normally we have specific verbiage that you're looking for to make sure that we articulate this correctly, not to create any complications.
Through the chair, that's correct. You could approve case 2022-0016 as an ordinance to update Anchorage Municipal Code of Regulations.
Excellent. For those of you who are looking to make a motion, I hope you were paying attention. Yes. Review it. Excellent. Do we have any other further? I'll take my gavel back. Do we have any further questions for staff? Excellent. Hearing none, we shall now open this up to public testimony. Is there anybody in the public who would care to speak regarding 20-22-0016? We have a vacant chamber, other than us here on the board and staff. Do we have anybody online caring to give testimony?
No, Mr. Chair, we do not.
This is a rare occurrence, by the way, that we don't have anybody here. Very good. I am now closing this case to public testimony. The matter now rests with the board. Do we have a motion? Oh, and we can read the screen. Thank you so much. We have a motion by Don Porter, second by Zach Young. Don, would you care to state your motion, please?
Yes, I move to recommend approval in case 2022-0016 to the Anchorage Assembly, an ordinance amending AMCR 2020-02, 03, and 07 to update the fee schedule with the entitlements currently identified in Title 21. The details are listed within our packet on pages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way to 12, 13, I believe. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you care to speak to your motion, Mr. Porter?
Yes, I intend to move to approve this motion. I believe it has been sufficiently shown with the details in the packet that they're cleaning up, and they are also aligning the fees with what it takes to actually do the work, and it's a benefit to the residents that use the system.
Thank you. Would anybody else care to speak to the motion? Hearing none, we shall move to a vote. Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. We now have closed case 20-22-0016. We will now, regarding the special order of business, item number C3, the annual election of officers. Okay, so we have the election of officers. As you know, I serve as your chair, and Mr. Porter serves as vice chair. And every March, we vote to see if we continue in those roles. We should discuss that and see what that's going to look like. As you guys are well aware, I'm running for assembly, so there is a chance, and we don't have a meeting, by the way, we do not have an April meeting, okay? So you guys get almost a full 60 days not having to come to the Lewis Library, okay? Spend your time wisely. But that said, the elections are in April, and if I do win my assembly seat, I will have to obviously withdraw as your chair. So, Don, the prestigious gavel would then land in your hands. So I don't know, perhaps you can, how would we address that for an election? Would we wait until I vacate my chair to then see and have another election? Do we elect now? Is there a recommendation on how we would proceed in that case?
Through the chair, you might as well go forward and do your elections. If you would like to have Chair Crosby reelected, he would just step down if he takes seat on the assembly. Vice Chair Don would assume the seat of chair, and you would need to elect a vice chair.
Okay. In the meantime, I'm happy to continue as chair if anybody wants. I actually really, really enjoy this. If I win, I will be kind of disappointed because I love this part. But I need to learn a lot about development and what's happening in the town. And I love helping property owners out there. It's fun. So if any of you ever want to move up, I would encourage you to do so. It's highly educational. That said, we need election of officers. Do we have a motion to elect somebody, at least for chair for now?
I'll make a motion to re-elect Kevin Cross as chair and Don Porter as vice chair.
Excellent. Do we have a
I
second?
second that motion.
All right, all those in favor say A.
A.
Aye. Whatever. A. I'm from Canada. All right. All those opposed, say no. Seeing none, our elections is closed. And do I have a motion to adjourn?
Point of information through the chair.
Oh, yes, sir.
My primary concern is not so much you not being chair, it's having a short board. What's the process for getting more people onto the board?
So, and I appreciate that. That is an excellent question, and I've made that known to the assembly. So understand that it is both the mayor's job and the assembly to approve, or basically those individuals, much like the process you went through. And I'm working diligently to make sure that we have an individual. We're fortunate that we have basically 2 months till the next plating board, so we have some breathing room here. But I would encourage all those watching at home, as well as the individuals on the board, if you know somebody who understands land planning, who has experience, particularly I would say that our board needs individuals that, geologists, individuals in the sciences. We have a lot of individuals on the board here very familiar with real estate replatting and legal issues, great attorney minds. However, in the past, we've had some individuals with the earth sciences who are heavily engaged, master's degrees in paleontology, et cetera. I would love to find some of those individuals to serve on the board. So I would encourage us to go out and find those individuals to serve. And we could also use a surveyor. So somebody who's very familiar with surveying, architectural. So in the meantime, we are working with the assembly in order to find those individuals. Obviously, this is a volunteer position. We do this because of our love for our community and not because of the huge zero paycheck that we earn. So as you know, volunteers are kind of few and far between. So go out and prosper. So
Thank you.
I thank you. Any other comments?
One last point of information. there's not a time specifically where the appointments have to happen? Because for some reason, I thought it was just during the fall sector that those appointments occurred. It can happen at any time?
It can happen at any time under special order of business. Simply understand that there are times that individuals have to abruptly withdraw, and more importantly, that, you realize if I draw and we have individuals, we're real close to running into a short board.
Through the chair, are you referring to the election of officers that we're doing this evening or the appointments of board members?
I meant appointments in general. I thought there was a seasonal cycle where appointments occur.
Correct. There is a seasonal, terms end October 14th of each year. There are 3 each year that expire. So they're pro rata, and that's when they're supposed to be appointed. But we had so much with the new administration and the changeover and them learning what was going on that they're kind of delayed in getting new interested parties.
So it's not so much that they can't be appointed at any time, it's just the general time that it happens is the fall?
Correct.
So it would be, there's an expiration, and individuals may choose not to continue, in which case you would have new individuals. But when you have vacant seats, it's in the best interest to fill those expeditiously at at the earliest opportunity.
Sure, I was just more curious as to whether or not it would be a special, not necessarily election, but appointment, or whether or not it can just be done at any time. I'm just kind of curious if there's a
Whenever,
sector
yeah.
of the year that it's generally allowed.
Whenever there's a vacant seat, that can be filled at any time. That way we have a full board. Well, excellent. Any other questions? All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Thank you, Don. Seconded. Thank you, Jana. Have a great evening, guys.